Hey, no be only me go see this one. Oh yeah, Mona consi.
Now Google kill now. Share una say they do court case. Now what's your beef for the following they do with the millions of lives of Nigerians looking up to him?
His normal toxic followers with their own penchants of not wanting democracy at the primary level or at the secondary level.
Section number CA/PEPC between Abubakar ATIKU and Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC).
Soup. If Tinubu should succeed in destabilizing every political party and now emerge as the only candidate in 2027, we will not have Nigeria again.
Yes, we are very happy that the pre-hearing session has been speedily concluded by the court.
If anybody should be investigated, arrested, prosecuted, and jailed, it should be their presidential candidate.
Fadakar in Nigeria, zaben da aka yi
frauded the whole country and stole public funds through SPVs.
Despite the counter affidavit by INEC.
Yeah, that's a very important point.
In which...
So please make that point. But also which is the constitutionally empowered body.
Came with...
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News Gist and Blog. A lot is going on in Nigeria. And part of which that is going on in Nigeria is ATIKU team and all of them that is in ADC facing the court case, and the court valid the points of the INEC according to whatever article 102 or 116 or whatever articles to the registered ADC, which means ADC is no longer a party. Anybody that belongs to that group is just there for meeting sake. Maybe they have to do meeting, a job, they donate money. That's what ADC is all about now. But before we give our own opinion on other videos, I want you guys to watch this particular video. We'll be right back.
Despite the counter affidavit by INEC.
Yeah, that's a very important point.
In which...
So please make that point.
INEC deposed to a counter affidavit to this suit on the 4th of May, 2026. And in paragraph 7 of that counter affidavit, INEC, which is a neutral body,
but also which is the constitutionally empowered body,
came with records, evidence of the constitutional requirement that this political party had met.
Yes.
Including one of the political party that was in court. And INEC said, look, because there is a pendency of the case in court, I must respect the judicial institution. I cannot do anything. INEC then, rightly in my view, came to a conclusion, even in paragraph 7J, and said the objective of the plaintiff has nothing to do with the cause of action here. Hence, the plaintiff does not have the local standard to fight this action. The case of the plaintiff does not disclose any reasonable cause of action, and this honorable court, INEC says so, had no jurisdiction to entertain the case. And INEC, in my view, was on a firm terror to have said so, because within my limited knowledge of the law, when there are disputes between...
Well, it can't be that limited. You're a senior advocate of Nigeria.
Well, I cannot claim to have all knowledge, but within my limited knowledge of law and practice, once two parties are disputing over an issue, and INEC, that is a neutral body, comes to court with evidence, that evidence is treated with some degree of infallibility, because INEC is supposed to be neutral, and in this case, it was neutral. He said, look, this party, Accord Party, Zenith Labour Party, AA, NPF, and then ADC have all met constitutional requirements. And what is this constitution? Section 255A of the Constitution was introduced by the 4th Alteration Act, number 9 of 2010, that gave INEC power to the registered political party that did not meet the requirement of registration, that fails to win a seat, either in the national president, governor, or House of Assembly, or National Assembly, or State House of Assembly, or councillor, as the case may be. And the word used in the Constitution is or, which means...
So you just need to meet one requirement.
You just need to meet one requirement. And once you meet one requirement, it's a disjunctive construction. Not that you must have one president. After all, two parties cannot win the presidential election. It must be one. So, if therefore failure to win presidential election means that all other political parties will be registered, then it means that only APC can remain. So, that cannot be logical constitutional construction. Two, when INEC, that is supposed to be the custodian of the documents of meeting constitutional requirements came to court on oath by information supplied by no less a person than a director of legal in a senior advocate of Nigeria, it must be taken with some degree of seriousness. Absolutely. Because INEC was not playing hanky-panky. And I think, when INEC commits blunder, Nigeria go after them. But when they commit this kind of respect, we should also commend them.
Yes, indeed.
So, second point that I want to make is, what was the nature of this case before the court? Was it in the nature of mandamus? Because INEC is the only one that has a constitutional duty to deregister political party. And before you can go to court to get an order against an establishment that has a constitutional duty to act, you must first of all exhibit evidence of failure to act and making a demand on that institution that you must act. Otherwise, I'll go to court to command you. That's what is called mandamus in law. So what was the local standard of these people that describe themselves as the incorporated trustees of National Forum of Former Legislators? Where is their letter of demand? Where is the failure of INEC? When INEC came, supply evidence, say from my record, and even gave statistics of who won what. In Abia, Zenith Labour Party statistics was given of the election, they won. In Kogi, even the deaf should be able to hear that ADC won 2 House of Representatives member from Kogi State. It is of a living memory.
Indeed.
So, what is the basis for the litigation?
Now you watch the old news, how they deregister them, the reason they deregister them. But the Peter Obi team are very happy. They are very happy because this deregister or whatsoever is going on in the ADC now did not meet Peter Obi there. I did not lock Peter Obi there. Did not lock him there. Did not strand him there. But I want you guys to listen to what Mama P have to say in all of this to Kenneth Okoko precisely. Who'll be right back.
Honestly, try to be like Peter Obi. I tried for the last 2 months. I'ma see rubbish. I'ma be looking. I'ma be trying to keep to this Christianity. I'ma see people that Ogun is supposed to kill. I'ma be praying in my mind, God. Now Google kill now. Share now say they do court case. Now what's your be for the following that they do with the millions of lives of Nigerians looking up to him and not getting them where they never come. It's not serious. He's looking for come. It's not no ever see come and eat for una life. Share now this thing now for they do with Obi. I just want to know. Tag them, especially that one with laba mouth. Share now what's your be for they do with this. I just that bondage when they say you the living and there your dad puts, but today is not to cost you. I just want to ask, share now wait till you be for the go through be this. And not be so that plan to give them all, one not deceive ourselves. You already had the memo. Even the shenanigan we are making they do. I'm not agree. I'm not going to deputize. Not being one be deputy now. Not the man. Y'all don't love this country. You don't mean well for this country. Y'all motherfuckers know you were supposed to do right, but you made the ADC a living hell for him because of your greed. And when he left, he's looking for food. Shena, let's even leave your wickedness aside. Shena, wait till we for they do be this. Kenneth, you will ask for blood because God will give you stone. Ogun, Nebeka, Ogun, make one son. I will kill you now. Never start. You know the game is not over. You have to now go to appeal courts. You now start appealing. You now follow the court processes. If you win tomorrow, they'll say court buy you finally. Of a truth, me personally, I want to see how Kenneth Okoko will react now. Kenneth Okoko, who have granted nothing less than I think 30-something interview, including his own personal video on his page and tweet and everything, is more than 50 against Peter Obi since Peter Obi left ADC. But we'll talk about him later. But I want you guys to watch this particular video of Justice Crack on how he make breakdown about all those things that is happening in ADC. We'll be right back.
More than 30 governors with you. You have more than 80-something senators, House of Rep members with you. But since you took power as a president, no political party is having it. Like, no political party can survive under your government. Remember when Labour Party was very strong? Immediately after the election, Tinubu assumed power. He used Apapa, Lamidi Apapa. Who remember Apapa now? Yes, this guy. He used Apapa, put fire in Labour Party. Before you know it, Abure sold out. Labour Party. Where's Labour Party today? Labour Party is gone. PDP, that used to be very strong position party. They bought Wike. They used Wike. Scatter PDP. Where's PDP today? Now, there's now a coalition, which is the ADC. All of them came together. Immediately, they now saw strong force coming from ADC. They now use one guy called Nafiru Bala to destabilize against the ADC. Now they're not in courts. Using INEC, people that are supposed to be independent, that have nothing, that shouldn't interfere in political party internal affairs. They are now behaving and positioning themselves to be Supreme Court or to be court. Taking decision, ignoring court order that said that the political parties should maintain status quo. But INEC went ahead to remove the names of the leaders in ADC. It has never happened in Nigeria before. Imagine a country going to election with one party. How do you think? Think about it. I know some of you say, hey, Shebi Sowore party there. Come on. If you gather go all the whole Sowore votes since he has been contesting, he no reach 100,000. All Sowore votes since he has been contesting, I think it's around 50-something to 60,000 votes. He has never crossed 30,000 votes before. Is that somebody that will oppose Tinubu? See, Nigerians, we're in trouble. And it is not about ADC right now. It is not about political party. It is about our life. We're in soup. If Tinubu should succeed in destabilizing every political party and now emerge as the only candidate in 2027, we will not have Nigeria again. What we will have is a kingdom ruled by one Jagaban. And by that time, Amari Fao Shege will be small. Now that time you go understand what he meant by Bulabai. Balablu. I just say let me inform you, because if eventually happen, I don't want to imagine it, sha. See, I have never seen Tinubu kind of politician. You have.
But we just hope that it will not become a country of one party system. Despite all the state governor with APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but I still don't know why he felt threats. But feel threatened by the rest party that he make sure that he want to disintegrate and dismantle them. But on the other hand, I also want you guys to watch this particular video. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here live at NDC Secretariat. You can see NDC Secretariat here, where we just received a breaking news that the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja today has asked INEC to deregister ADC. Recall that a month ago I was on AIT, and this question was asked about why P2B had to leave parties, and I had made a point that day that as we speak in that studio that day, that ADC is not sure to be on the ticket because of multiplicity of cases against ADC in court, and today has confirmed that assertion that I made. The federal government of Nigeria, the APC-led government, does not want opposition, and they are doing everything to make sure that there is no party that opposes them. NDC right now is perhaps the only party that has escaped the traps that the federal government of Nigeria has set for opposition parties. So as we speak today, by the virtue of this judgment, ADC is not eligible to contest election in this Nigeria until the court says otherwise. And whatever the court will say will be whatever the government of the day wants. Therefore, I'm using this opportunity to call on Nigerians, everyone who wants to make sure that APC government is dethroned, APC government controlled by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, by 2027 will be voted out. Anybody who wants that to happen should come into ADC. There is an opportunity for you to come into ADC today. No longer waste your time in all these parties that have been trapped, that have been held spellbound, that have been held hostage by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration. Come to ADC. This is an opportunity for us to make a clear call for you. Let us not waste our energies in all these parties that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is holding in his hand. Please come to NDC today. NDC is free from all these litigations. NDC is free from the traps. And this is to tell you that P2B is a wise man for him to have jumped ship when he did, because we saw the tribe. The Supreme Court of Nigeria had the opportunity to have ventilated on this case. The Supreme Court of Nigeria, as the case I made in AIT and all the places I've gone to, it's a court of, not just a court of law, but a court of public policy. They had the right to have aggregated all the case that was presented to them and ventilated on it. And today, ADC wouldn't have the problem they're having. But for them to have asked them to go to the lower court, that was a trap. And that trap has become visible today. So ladies and gentlemen, we are calling on you, come to NDC. NDC is the party that is going to rescue Nigeria from the quagmire, from the rascality of APC, from the misrule of APC. Please come today. Come one, come two, come all. Thank you.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for me, I don't know how to address him. He's the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, but he is a tyrant. He's a president who operates in anarchy, in monarchy, in everything that have to do with kiki. See, of a truth, Now that Bola Ahmed Tinubu have made alliances with France, you will find it very interesting and similar that every country that France rule or colonize, their president is only there doing nothing but will remain president for decades. Go and check all Francophone presidents. All Francophone presidents in Africa, they will be in power in wheelchair. Some will be in power from hospital bed. Some will be in power for the good 30-something years. I think that's what Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to do now. Because I don't really understand that he's fighting against democracy, where everybody have the right to contest, have their own political party, but looking for a way to infiltrate crisis in every party, dismantle party. I don't know what he's afraid of. But anyway, I also want you guys to watch this particular video. We'll be right back.
I do not want to fall into temptation of the language that is ringing bell in my head, but to borrow the language of their lordships of the Supreme Court. What happened appears to be judicial insubordination, judicial impertinence, and it ought not to be so and should not be so, because under our law, the High Court is obligated mandatory to obey the orders of the Court of Appeal and enforce it without question, whether or not it believes that that order was rightly given or wrongly given, or whether their lordships who made that order, in the estimation of the lower court, committed grievous error of law. The duty under our law is for the lower court to kowtow, to bow, to pay due obedience to an order from the higher court. It's just like if the high court makes an order staying proceedings in an area court, magistrate court, it will amount to judicial insubordination for the magistrate court, for area court, to start to proceed, to go on as if no order was given. And where the rule of law holds sway, no one, no matter your status, has the authority, the audacity of arrogance to question an order of court. That is why, in a civilized society, even a mere process in court, it suffices for parties who have turned over their disputes to court to hold on, pending when the wise men and women created by our Constitution renders opinion. Let me be honest with you. The unique role of the legal profession and the judiciary is so enormous that the Nigerian Constitution devoted considerable proportion of its portion to creating the judicial arm of government, only to be populated by legal practitioners of considerable experience. So, in my view, therefore, when the Court of Appeal was hard on his lordship of the lower court, they were right. Because in Turaki versus Turaki's case, I don't know the name of the other person, the Supreme Court was very hard on a judge who attempted to say that their lordships need to have a second look at their decision and try to navigate through it. No, that is judicial indiscipline. You don't, it is called precedent. The precedent is that a decision of the Supreme Court, no matter how erroneous you think it is, binds the Court of Appeal. The decision of the Court of Appeal, no matter how erroneous you think it is, binds the trial court. So, when therefore, the Court of Appeal on the 22nd of May, 2026, stayed the proceedings before His Lordship of the Federal High Court, even if the notice of the order was given to His Lordship when he arrives in the court and was about reading the judgment, and a lawyer stands up and says, "Oh, my Lord, the Court of Appeal has stayed the proceeding in this case," all he needs to do is, let me see a copy of the order.
Yes.
The moment he sees the copy of the order, without any further must ado, he must stop reading the judgment at that stage. Because proceeding staying includes judgment delivery. It is the rendering of judgment in open court to the hearing of everyone that concludes proceeding. Therefore, the principle of law that you cannot arrest judgments does not apply to a superior order of court. It can only apply when a lawyer decides to file a motion and say, "My Lord, I have a motion for you to suspend your judgment." That cannot be entertained. That can be ignored. It can proceed to deliver the judgment. But in a situation where there is an appeal against your proceeding, and the Court of Appeal, in a contested motion on notice, not ex parte, after all parties were heard, took their time, look at the point of law raised in the notice and grounds of appeal have been entered, and in order that proceeding be stayed. It is a violation of Nigerian Constitution, Section 287, for the trial court to ignore that order and proceed to deliver judgment. So if I was sitting in the seat of their lordships.
Now, my question is, how would Kenneth Okonkwo feel now? Kenneth Okonkwo, who have said all kinds of things against Peter Obi. Anyway, I also want you guys to watch this particular video. We'll be right back.
Peter Obi, within 6 months, changed parties 3 times. You could recall, since he defected to NDC, I've not taken it as anything serious or anything relevant to bother myself. Because by December 30th, he was a member of Labour Party. By December 31st, he was a member of ADC. By May 3rd, he is a member of NDC. I am sure, if not for the restriction in the Electoral Act, before the close of the registration or the membership time, I'm sure he will be a member of another party. That is his nature. But let me say it. Changing parties is not what questions your capacity, your competence, or your character. It is the reason that you adduced for changing the party. Peter Obi said, I don't have a problem with David Mark, meaning he didn't have a problem with the ADC. He said, I don't have a problem with ATIKU Abubakar, meaning he does not have any problem with the aspirants. Then what is the reason he gave? He said, I don't like challenges. I don't like trouble. ADC is going through challenges, legal and otherwise. And I like to run away to where there is peace, to where there is no trouble. And I now ask, how can this same man ask Nigerians to entrust Nigeria in his care when Nigeria is the most challenged country in the world today? Nigeria is both physically and mentally challenged in all capacity. Nigeria is the 4th most terrorized nation on earth. Nigeria has borrowed itself to bankruptcy. So how can a man who says running away from challenges be able to face the challenges we are facing in Nigeria today? I am sorry. The Peter Obi's temperament and his capacity is incompatible with the requirement of Nigeria of today. So the ADC cannot possibly be missing anything. Recall that before he came to ADC in December 31st, his political career was already dead. He was losing his polling unit in his own state by the gubernatorial candidate that he chose by himself. Recall that even when one member of the House of Assembly of Labour Party died, they fielded his widow to know whether they can get the sympathy of the people. But because of the rejection of Anambra people to Peter Obi's leadership star, they still voted against the innocent widow. So recall that before he entered ADC, his political career was already dead. So dead that he could not even enter ADC from his own state, Anambra State. He entered ADC from Enugu State, my own state, where he believed that the toxic on the toxin will not overwhelm him. So ADC actually gave him a lifeline. Peter Obi needed ADC. ADC did not need him because we were already moving on without him. So when he came into ADC with his normal toxic followers, with their own penchants of not wanting democracy at the primary level or at the secondary level, obviously I knew he was going to go. Let me reveal one secret to you. The first day I was consulted in this coalition, and that was before the unveiling, they asked me, so how is the possibility of ADC performing in the Southeast? I told them plainly and straight away, don't build anything on Peter Obi because he's not going to contest under ADC because he will eventually leave. Why was I so sure? Because he's a man that has morbid fear for primary election. He has never been in one, and he will not be in one until he finishes his political career. He became a governor. He entered into primary election. He failed and lost to Ralph Mosu in Apga. And then he still managed to find the leaders to cancel that primary, and they still gave him the ticket. That was how he became governor. And so when he gave the reason of challenges, of course, he lied, because his main reason is that he does not want to face the primary election. And let me tell you another thing, because ADC was fully prepared to convince the whole world that Peter Obi is not interested in democracy. When he came into ADC, he gave a condition that he should be allowed to produce the National Organization Secretary, National Organizing Secretary, NOS. And the reason he gave is that so that he will be the one to conduct the primary. And ADC said, fine, take. When we were doing the e-registration, P2B again and his followers asked to be in charge of the e-registration. And that was why they put my sister, Aisha Yusuf, to be in charge and Obi aid, so that all the members of ADC in the primary will be determined by P2B. And then P2B was to organize the primary. That was why you did not hear him say, this primary is dollarized, is monetized. That's the reason I'm going. Because he was to be the one to organize the primary. Yet, he was still afraid of free and fair election. Not, of course, of zoning. Because he went to even southern aspirants in order for them to step down for him. So he's a man who is afraid of free and fair primary election. So he left.
But we thank God that this whole thing did not meet Peter Obi there. But we don't also know what the future hold for NDC. Now that the NDC is also having their own fractions, their crisis in NDC and the problem in NDC, we don't know. Because we know that anybody can accept money from Bola Ahmed Tinubu to deregister, to scatter, to destroy their parties, or in the name of, at least, there's nobody here, even you watching this particular video, that they will offer you maybe 1 billion that you will not do the bid of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Talk more about Nigerians in the streets with 2 cartons of Indomie. No, some of them is just even some Vita of 1,005. They set their conscience. Talk more if somebody give you millions upon millions. Anyway, I rest my case here. I love you guys. God love you more. If you love us, the only way you can show your support to us is to like this video, comment your thoughts. We'll be waiting for you guys in the comment section. What do you think about ATIKU now that is crying? Anyway, we don't wish this particular thing NDC, but until then, peace out.